Can we build an Oath of Devotion Paladin from D&D in Elden Ring? Absolutely. But is it any good? Check this out. Hello everyone, I am Slightly.Lost and welcome back to a series where I attempt to recreate D&D subclasses using Elden Ring's mechanics as respectfully and accurately as possible. So, if you've never played D&D before, Paladins are the holy warrior. As quoted from the player's handbook, they are united by their oaths to stand against the forces of annihilation and corruption. Whether sworn before a god's altar, in a sacred glade before nature's spirits, or in a moment of desperation and grief with the dead as the only witnesses, a paladin's oath is a powerful bond. It is a source of powers that turns a devout warrior into a blessed champion. Paladins train to learn the skills of combat, mastering a variety of weapons and armor. Even so, their martial skills are secondary to their magical powers they wield. Power to heal the injured, smite their foes, and protect the helpless and those who fight at their side. The Oath of Devotion binds paladins to the ideals of justice and order. These paladins meet the archetype of the knight in shining armor. They hold themselves to the highest standards of conduct, and some, for better or worse, hold the rest of the world to the same standards. Many who swear this oath are devoted to the gods of law and good, and use their gods' tenets as the measure of personal devotion. Others hold angels as their ideals and incorporate images of angelic wings into their helmets or coats of arms. While their unique spell list doesn't translate to Elden Ring very well, we can lean into the devotion aspect and devote ourselves to Queen Marika and use Golden Order incantations. Without further ado, let's get into the build. To start off, we'll be selecting the Confessor starting class. In D&D terms, we're going to be mad, multiple attribute dependent, for this build. And the Confessor has decent starting stats for everything we'll be putting levels into. At level 50, he'll want 24 Vigor and Endurance, and 15 Mind, Strength, Intelligence, and Faith. This gives us a decent start in all our damage stats while still focusing survivability in the early game. At level 150, you'll have 40 Vigor, 20 Mind, 30 Endurance, 26 Strength, and 21 Intelligence and Faith. This is more of the same, but we're getting more efficiency out of our weapon of choice and our spells. We'll also hit our desired Mind stat by this point and won't be putting any more levels there. At level 150, you'll need 55 Vigor, 35 Endurance, 36 Strength, and 31 Intelligence and Faith. Because we're so mad, we've now hit our desired Vigor and Endurance levels. But, on the bright side, we now have enough points in our mental stats to be able to cast all of our desired spells. Finally, at level 200, your final stat spread will be 55 Vigor, 20 Mind, 35 Endurance, 54 Strength, and 47 Intelligence and Faith. The last bit just really cranks the damage numbers for our spells and our weapon. In terms of equipment, we'll be using the Iron Greatsword with the Heavy Affinity and the Giant Hunt Ash of War. Paired with it for our Holy Tank, we'll have the Golden Great Shield. And for casting our spells, we'll of course be using the Golden Order Seal to boost the power of our incantations. For our armor, there's only one required piece, the Radiant Gold Mask, which also boosts the power of our spells. Beyond that, to reach the minimum poise threshold of 51, I have the Elden Lord's Armor, Radahn's Gauntlets, and the Veteran Greaves. This set has exactly 51 poise. For our talismans, we're trying to boost our damage in any way we can. We'll have the Erdtree's Favor +2 for a little extra HP, stamina, and equip load. Then we'll use the Curved Sword Talisman to increase our guard counters, the Sacred Scorpion Charm to increase our holy damage, and the Great Shield Talisman to increase our guarding ability. In our Wondrous Physic, we have the Holy Shrouding Crack tier to boost our damage, and the Opaline Hard tier to increase our damage negation against all types by 15%. As our Vigor, Mind, and Endurance might suggest, we'll be using Godric's Great Rune to boost all our stats by 5 points. This gets our Vigor to the desired 60, Mind to 25 for a few extra spell casts, and Endurance to 40, which will really help with our equip load in particular. Of course, the bumps to Strength, Intelligence, and Faith are also greatly appreciated. Lastly, before we show off how the build plays, the most important part, our spells. We'll be using Heal as our Lay on Hands equivalent, Order's Blade as our Divine Smite, and then we are also including Discus of Light, Triple Rings of Light, Radagon's Rings of Light, and Litany of Proper Death as other damage sources based on how many enemies we're fighting, or even the type of enemy, since Litany of Proper Death really only works against undead enemies. With all that number crunching out of the way, let's smite some evildoers. And that is how you build an Oath of Devotion Paladin from D&D in Elden Ring. Did you like what you saw? What would you change to make this build more accurate to the source material? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this build, be sure to subscribe to see what other D&D subclasses I recreate in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye, adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. And if I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful day.